regular niche to get his name out there. I'm just saying. Because when Roy Jones was Roy Jones.
I'm just sorry. Every time I hear his name, it brings me back to another point. Not the great Roy Jones that you're talking about. Just when I hear that name, it just like God is Roy going to fight me tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like, am I fighting Roy tomorrow? I don't even know.
You talking about the late great Roy Jones? That's what you talking about.
Exactly. Somebody just gonna call me tomorrow. Like, hello, this is Mike. Yes. How'd you feel about fighting Roy Jones tomorrow? Or where we gonna do it at? Panthersville Stadium. Okay, sure. Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's go. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
You mean no? Not Panthersville, boy. That is Godfrey Memorial Stadium.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's go.
Sorry.
Let's go.
Can't
do it for the book.
Gotta make sure we show homage to the great Buck Godfrey down here in DeKalb County, Georgia. All right. This is the Sports Kings podcast. Big Mike, Rob Calloway once again. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Sports Kings Live, and on the email, sportskingslive@gmail.com. We're about halfway through the first hour. So no better time than to take a look back. We're talking about all this nostalgia and all this kind of stuff with boxing. So we'll take this time to take a look back in sports history and do our daily feature on this day.
It's the Sports Kings.
On this day. All right, Rob. It's hard doing this without you last week because I had no additional commentary. I had to be both people. I had to say it, then commented on it myself. All right, on this day.
You can do it. You talk to yourself anyway.
I do, yeah. Yes, sure that. True that. On this day in 1861, the first game of the National Association of Baseball Players was played in Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne beat Cleveland 2-0. On this day in 1929, the great Lou Gehrig hit 3 consecutive home runs. On this day in 1954, the first intercollegiate court tennis. Okay, sorry. I'm putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. The first intercollegiate court tennis match in the U.S. was between Yale and Princeton. On this day in 1954, the Philadelphia Phillies and St. Louis Cardinals set a National League record when they used 42 players in one game. The Phillies won 14-10. Jesus. On this day in 1963, pitcher Bob Shaw set a record with 5 balks in a game. At what point did you get that dude out? if he can't go to the plate without pausing, I mean, if he can't go to the plate, yeah, that's what I mean, without pausing, yeah, he need to come out the game. He don't know what he's doing. On this day in 1973, the Phillies beat the Braves 5-4 in 20 innings in the longest game to date at Veterans Stadium. On this day in 1975, Bob Watson of the Houston Astros scored the 1 millionth run of the Major League Baseball history. On this day in 1980, Mike Squires of the Chicago White Sox played the position of catcher in the final inning against the Brewers. It was the first time a left-handed catcher had played since 1958. Ain't that something? It's like the second or third, like one of these things we done with like the first left-handed person. It was like the 1950s or 60s. Like what the hell was going on with left-handed people before the 60s?
Lefties are hard, man. They probably made them do it right hand.
Where am I at? Jesus, I did Mike Squires already, right? Yes. On this day in 1984, Dave Kingman hit a fly ball that got stuck in the ceiling of the Metrodome. Jesus. Yeah, ain't that some crap? On this day in 1991, Chris James of the Cleveland Indians set a club record with 9 RBIs in one game. On this day in 1993, Dale Hunter of the Washington Capitals was suspended for 21 games for his blindside check of Pierre Turgeon of the New York Islanders in a game played on April 8th. In 1994, on this day, Charles Barkley of the Phoenix Suns scored 56 points, 38 of which came in the first half against the Golden State Warriors.
Sure.
And finally, on this day, in 2004, the great Alex Rodriguez of the New York Yankees hit his 350th career home run and drove in his 1,000th run. He was the youngest player to reach 350 home runs at 28 years, 282 days. If you've been
How crazy is that?
sleeping under a rock somewhere, this past weekend, Alex Rodriguez just tied the great Willie Mays with 660 home runs. And the Yankees are like, no check for you. They owe him $6 million. They're going to make him go to court and arbitration and all this foolishness just to get that little $6 million and, whatever. at this point, the whole Alex Rodriguez thing is kind of jumped the shark because he's helping your team win now. It ain't even like he's like this distraction on the field. That dude is hitting. He's playing baseball. So what's my rule? If you're gonna do dumb junk, ball. That's all. Just ball.
There you go.
Everything will be forgotten unless, of course, you're the Yankees organization, which nothing is forgotten. Let's see, Rob, where you want to go now? You want to go NBA or NFL here? Because the draft thing might take a while. You want to go NBA real quick?
Yeah,
for the
we
last
can do that.
25 minutes of the show. All right, talked about the. I actually tweeted about this at Sports Kings Live that the real fight. I did this like an hour before the actual fight. The real fight happened in the Staples Center. I wrote on my notes, Clippers at Spurs. It's actually Spurs at Clippers. In Game 7 of the Western Conference first round, in which the Clippers won an exciting, very, very, very exciting game. 111-109 on a last-second shot by the gimpy Chris Paul. Got a little hamstring strain there in the first quarter, which was kind of ill how he did it. Run down the court, grabbed his hamstring, shook Tony Parker, and pulled up for a three. It was like, all right, I'm coming out the game. My hamstring damn near tore off the bone. And came back in with a gutsy performance, man. One for the ages, I believe, that we'll remember for quite a long time, especially if they end up going far in these playoffs. He scored 18 of his 27 points in the second half. So even after the injury in the first quarter, I believe, God, what's going on here? I believe it was the first quarter that he strained that hamstring. Came out of the game for a while, had to go to the – or did he go to the back? No, I think they fixed him up right there on the sideline or whatnot. And just gutted it out, man. Knew his team needed him, you know, because I think when you're a guy like Chris Paul, you hear the whispers of, you know, a guy who left one organization in New Orleans to try to become a champion, you know, to try to become to solidify his legacy, and going to L.A. and playing with guys like DeAndre Jordan and Jamal Crawford and guys like Blake Griffin, and people saying, "Now what's wrong, Chris? What's going on?" And you know, you hear.
Well, really, he was trying to go play with Kobe, but what had happened was,
yeah, you know,
the NBA blocked it.
Old commissioner. What was the old commissioner's name? I can't even think of his name. Now I'm about to call him Goodell, but it's not Commissioner Goodell.
Stern.
Yeah,
Commissioner Stern.
old Commissioner Stern. Like, no, not going to do that because we own the team, which is weird. Like, they say that might happen to the Milwaukee Bucks, too. Like, if they don't get a new stadium deal done or something like that, they're looking for some public funding, and they don't get it. Some kind of way, the league just takes over their team. It's like some weird NBA thing going on.
And they don't get compensated? They just take the team?
I don't know how the hell it works, dude. I was just reading it, and I was as confused as you are listening to me talking about it. I was as confused listening to it. I was like, what? Because the people in Milwaukee are like, screw them. They're owned by like 2 billionaires. They want a new stadium. Build it. MF, you got the money. You know, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like it's going to be rich people fighting over stuff that I don't know nothing about. Swipe right. I just went to the next story. Like, whatever. And not going to take too much time talking about that because I have no idea what the hell is going on. Plus, it's in Milwaukee. Speaking of, you mentioned Minnesota. Shout out to somewhere in Minnesota where they listen to us now. It's somewhere, Grand Rapids maybe? I don't know. I saw it on the little stats thing. But wherever y'all at in Minnesota and all our people in Queens Creek, Arizona, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Y'all holding strong on the stats. Tim Duncan. Did his Tim Duncan thing, 27 and 11. Blake Griffin, another triple-double, second of the playoffs, 24, 13, and 10. But here's where like stats lie to you. Not lie to you, but here's where you kind of got to look past them. Like Blake almost blew the game like 4 times in the fourth quarter. Like he kept giving up offensive rebounds, and then just I guess kind of like I don't know. Ironically, it happened this way where he would give up the offensive rebound. The shot would get kicked out. Then he would be the person who need to close out on the shooter and did a lazy ass job of closing out and gave up like 2, 3, like on the 4 offensive rebounds he gave up. 4 of them. It probably may have been more than that, but on 4 that he gave up, 3 shots were made. 2 of them were threes and 1 of them was a 2. So that's 8 points, 8 second chance points off one dude. And like I say, he gave up the offensive rebound. Then when they kicked it out, he was the guy supposed to be closing out when they're on the rotation. And he gave like these lazy-ass, half-ass closeout, and they hit like 2 threes. And I was like, yeah, if they lose this game, guess what I'm talking about on Monday? They ain't lose it, but I'm still talking about it because that's like that's inexcusable. For a dude that was having such a good game, that's inexcusable. Like, you got to give that effort, the same effort that you're giving on the offensive side of the floor, you got to give it on the defensive side, especially Like I'm always talking about the defensive possession ending on the rebound. Like your defense is not done until your team secures the basketball. And if you keep giving up offensive rebounds, to good teams, especially a Spurs team, I don't understand how the hell they lost with that going on. But Chris Paul, I do understand. Chris Paul, he hit the amazing shot, 1 second left on the clock, and then the weird stuff happened. Popovich and the boys got their out of bounds play going on. They know what they want to do. They're trying to set a back pick, at the rim for Kawhi or whatever. And as their players are going in motion, the clock just goes off. The buzzer just goes off. So now the Clippers get to see, they've seen everything that's about to happen. So it's like, yep, can't run that play again, can you? And I guess Pop was like, screw you, yes we can. He had a timeout, didn't even call it. He kind of, like we talk about people getting out-coached and coaching in the moment. This may be a situation where Popovich just kind of got caught up in the moment. He got so caught up in complaining about what happened, the fact that the buzzer went off inadvertently, quote unquote inadvertently, that he failed to realize that I can call a timeout and drop another play, a different play. But they just went ahead and they gave it out of bounds, got a ball back. They went with it. And by that time, Matt Barnes was like, yep, seen this one before. Yeah, like 2 seconds ago. So as soon as they threw the lob, he knocked that crap out of the air. Ball game, Clippers going to the second round. And so now the whole thing is, Popovich is like, the NBA should stop rewarding people for winning divisions. Why? Because you didn't win yours? Guess what, Pop? Beat the Pelicans. We're not even having this conversation right now. Do that. You know what I mean? Like, you're the Spurs, they're the Pelicans. Beat them. No one cares. You don't care. But now, because the ball didn't kind of bounce in your favor, it's like, this is bullcrap that we had to play the Clippers in the first round. Whatever. I enjoyed myself. I felt like it was an awesome series.
Yeah.
Hope the next one's even
great series.
Yeah, I hope the next one's just as good. I don't care. Whatever. Go home. And apparently they went and got hammered last night too. The Spurs got hammered.
Yeah, you saw that.
They was like, season's over with. Oh yeah, let's get it. The other day we was talking about Bobby Sura, dude. This white dude, the Cavs game is on while we're talking. This white dude from Australia that's playing for the Cavs too right now looks exactly like Bob Sura, dude. He looks like he could have been Bob Sura's like clone, and they just like, you know what, we need to have a white guy that looks like Bob Sura on the Cavs team to make it official. Go call that kid from Australia. I don't even know his name, but every time I see him, I'm like, yep, he looks just like
on the
that.
court now.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is.
Yeah.
Okay, what much time we got? Oh, we got plenty of time. And then Sunday happened, Rob. Hawks Wizards. While you were out watching scallywags and hoes and pimps and whoever else you were looking at, and Ashley Booty Cheeks, yeah, all those people. Yeah, while that was happening, it was some buffoonery going on at Phillips Arena, dude.
Mm-hmm. I heard.
You know me. I just eat it all up because, like, again, man, sometimes your kid is just stupid. That's what it is. Sometimes your kid is just stupid, man. Don't get offended when someone else points it out, too. It is real. These cats, the Hawks, I mean, I told y'all, that John Wall is coming. And he's trying to make a point to tell people that he's in that Kyrie level. He's in that Steph Curry level. He's in that Dame Lillard level of point guard. He wants people to understand. And just like I told you guys when the playoffs started, when you try to make your name as a team, Hawks, or as an individual, like guys like Kevin Love was trying to before, the injury, guys like John Wall, him and Bradley Beal trying to get people to understand what kind of backcourt they got in Washington. You do it in the playoffs when everybody's watching, not just basketball fans, but everybody's watching. You let people know your name now. Yeah, John Wall's all about that life, cuz he is all about whatever that old man Paul Pierce is telling these dudes, it's working. They ain't lost a game yet in the playoffs. Not a one. Went and started both series off on the road. The Toronto series, took care of them quick, fast, and in a hurry. Came down here to Atlanta and did the same thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying I was watching that the Hawks and the Nets, the final game. I was watching it out of it, and
pushed all the way in.
And what was more remarkable than anything was Jeff Teague didn't score a point. right?
Yeah.
He had like 14 assists. But when I looked at the schedule, because I didn't realize, I thought the Cavs and the Bulls were going to start